What's up everyone, welcome to a bonus video for the channel today. I call it a bonus video, it's actually the longest video we've ever done. It's a little tutorial video, it's a little bit impromptu. It's going to cover hooped socks, it's going to cover plain shirt, different colour sleeves and winged collars, so it's quite a long one. But yeah, I won't talk too much in the intro, I'll let you guys get on with it. But just before we do, we've reached 200 subscribers today, so thank you to @StevieNev for making it to number 200. Awesome support, guys. Thank you guys very much for subscribing. I really appreciate it. Let's keep it growing, so please share it with as many people as you can. Keep retweeting my tweets when they come out. Keep sharing the videos with your friends and people you might think may be interested. Without further ado then, let's crack on with the tutorial video for today. So we are going to look at painting a plain shirt with the sleeves a different colour, and we're also going to look at hooped socks in this demo as well. So got our player here. The socks are yellow and blue, so what we're going to do is just paint them yellow to start with. So solid colour, it's an old kit, so we're looking for a nice sort of flat yellow, not necessarily a bright yellow, hence the use of this little bit more of a dull yellow. Nice and easy on the socks to start with. It's when you start adding the blue hoops where it starts to get a little bit more complicated. So nice and easy around here, just bringing those lines up to the pre-made skin lines already. Just tidy that top bit up there. And then we come around, do the second one. Exactly the same process, just trying to take that sock down. Doesn't really matter if you go too low on the socks because they're quite a light colour in that bottom section, so it's easily coverable with either brown or with black, depending on what colour boots you're going to do. For this figure, I will probably be doing brown, just because of the age of the kit. It probably would have been brown leather boots back then. But yeah, so I'm just bringing it around. Nice and simple socks in general. They're quite easy to do when they're just one colour. You just got to stick to the lines that are already there. And not get too, not get careless with messing up around the outside. So the shirt on this guy has a yellow main body section, and it's going to have blue sleeves. It's also got it's going to have a blue winged collar on the top as well. So what we're going to do to start with is we're going to bring down our yellow section here, and we're going to line it up so it makes a nice line up around the sleeves. We'll paint the whole thing yellow because the collar is going to be a dark color. It won't matter whether we overpaint or not. So we're going to come round down here across the shorts. The shorts are black, so with this one it's not massively important that you get that neat line across the top of the shorts, but we will obviously do it as neat as we can, and then we'll add the details on for you guys later. Cool. So to start this bit off, I always start along the sides. Just lean over here, make sure you guys can see. Yeah, perfect. So I'm going to start on the side, along the underarm section. I'm just going to drag some paint down to the bottom of the shirt and bring it across. And then all I want to do is just follow the natural line under the sleeve. Because these are going to be blue, it's not massively important that I get it completely accurate, because I want to show you guys the best way to do it. I'm trying to do it as neat as possible on this one, as if, let's say, the sleeves were going to be white. And we want to leave that space. So got our basic lines in there at the moment. Just going to bring this across the top, and again, these shorts are going to be black, so it's not a massive issue if I overpaint onto the shorts. But again, I'm trying to show you guys the best way if they were going to be white, for example. Once I've done this bit, just going to fill in the main block of the shirt. You don't have to be too careful here, but obviously you do not want to be a bit haphazard and end up painting somewhere you don't want to paint. But I want to get that colour on. I've got a few lumpy bits in my paint, which is a bit irritating, but we can get them out. That's not an issue. So again, yeah, this is an old shirt, so I wanted that more of a dull yellow. For reference, this is number 24 matte yellow in Humbrol. It's not a colour I use massively often because it is quite a dull colour, but it's perfect for this. So from here, I just want to try and follow where that sleeve line would be, as if it's a stitch coming up. So want to kind of have that coming around here, just there. Hopefully you guys can see that in there. And then just bring some colour down. Another lumpy bit in there. That's the issue with some Humbrals. You do get little, like, I think it's just like old over dry pieces of paint, and sometimes they come out of the tin and they just stick to the figures, so it's a little bit annoying, but we can get them off. So what I want to do, just to finish this side off, just to bring that line up. Again, the collar's going to be a blue wing, so again, it doesn't have to be massively neat, but as with everything I'm going to do on this figure, I'm trying to show you best practice for what you guys are going to do. So I'm just going to bring this side of the collar down. Just want to even it up a little bit, so I'm going to take a little bit more out on this side. And same again there, to really tighten that V. Now what we need to do is just finish off the front portion of the shirt on this side, and again it's just a case of just following that line of the sleeve up and not painting onto the sleeve, because obviously the sleeve on this team is blue, but we don't want to cover it if we can get away with it, so we'll bring it up there, and that is the front of the shirt done there. So hopefully you guys can see what we've done. Just want to smooth off my paint lines. You guys can probably see how my brush misbehaves quite a lot, but I've just kind of got used to it. So see, if you look there, I've actually got a bristle sticking out of it. Bit irritating. Bring it back under control by sticking it in your mouth. That's the secret, everyone. Use your mouth. I've probably eaten quite a lot of paint over time. So all I want to do now is just continue that, and again we start on the sides just to bring that paint round and under. Back of the shorts is a lot easier to join up. I don't really know why. I just find painting the shirt line across the back of the shorts is a lot easier than it is on the front of the shirt. And again, bringing it up under the arms, tighter on this side. And then what I do, rather than bringing it up from the bottom, what I want to try and do is match it up over the top, so that we get a clean line over the shoulder. So I pull it round to try and match it over the top. Just around there, so you guys can see there. What I've done is I've pulled it over the top to match it in to the line that comes up from over in the back. And that's how we've done that one. We'll do exactly the same on the other side to pull that one round. So just bringing it around the top of the collar. Again, the collar's going to be blue, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but just want to make it as clean as possible. And then again, hopefully I'm in shot, just about. Then I want to pull it down. So pull that paint down in there. Match this line up with the one that's come over the top there. And join it round into there. And then just fill in that gap with paint, trying to make sure it's an even spread, because if you end up with, especially with a yellow, the thickness of the paint really affects the final appearance of the paint. I'm actually not massively happy with this one here. Let's bring that round there and let's extend. See what we've ended up doing here is just going to steal a little bit more off the front. That's better. So there you can see, if this guy was going to be yellow with white sleeves, that's how you want to leave it. And then round the back is exactly the same principle. But we're going to finish this guy off for you, so let's just let him dry a little bit and come back for some blue. Okay, so we've mentioned already this guy's got hooped socks, so we're going to add them in now in blue. With these, it's another one of them things that I'm going to do because it's needs to be quite neat, and it's quite a difficult thing to get right. I won't be talking as I do it because I'll be holding my breath. So basically, what we're going to look for, I'm going to make sure I'm still in shot, is do the tops first, tops on both sides. It's a thinner hoop at the top, and then you just want to leave equal distance, so you've got an equal spread of hoop colours going through. So with this kit, actually the bottom of the sock is blue, so we can go around the bottom of the sock and then get the rest of them in there. But yeah, so we're going to start at the top and probably put some music over the top of this a little bit. So you can see there, actually, we haven't had a perfect join. So what I'm going to do is, because that yellow is quite a strong yellow, I can just go over the top of that with a little touch up. So sometimes that can happen, especially with that sort of plastic line that goes around that we've talked about before. So it doesn't always go perfect. You guys could maybe leave it, but I know it's there, so I'm not happy with it. So I just want to come in on there and just take that little bit away. So you can see now we've got a much better join in there. Can't always be done, but the 24 yellow that I've got is quite a strong cover, quite a thick paint, so I knew that it would cover that area. If you're working on big areas, I would say that it probably wouldn't work. But yeah, so back to the hoop paint. We've put our top one in, and then we're gonna leave a space, put one in there, and then try and get one in the bottom. So I'm going to leave it there with this one. Like I said earlier, on the picture, the bottom of the sock is blue, but I feel with the colour balance we've got at the moment, if to try and squeeze a blue one in there would be silly. So I'm just going to leave it as a 2-hooper. I think it looks good. I'm happy with it. The hoops are nice and even. And we're going to pull them around on the other side. So there we go with the hooped socks then. Like I said, what you're looking for, same with hoops and stripes, is that balance of colour across what you're doing. So that's why we've only gone with 2 blue hoops. We've got 3 technically yellow ones, and that's what we've gone with. So now let's crack on with the sleeves then. They are solid blue, so we'll just get on with that now. So again, areas where you need to be nice and neat would be around the bottom to just cover that cuff line, so you don't want to rush too much here. You get that as clean as possible. Go all the way around. Again, this is just how I do it. Other guys and other people, you guys, if you're just going to pick up a brush for the first time, you might find another way that's more comfortable for you. Like I say, I paint with all my players in the bases because that's how I've always done it. It's just how I've got comfortable painting. And there's a lot of guys that use all sorts of different things to hold their figures. I know one of my, some of the guys, like I say, use bulldog clips and things to hold their figures in place. Or I know some guys use like other bases so they don't risk getting paint on their bases they're actually going to use. So there's loads of different ways you can do it. This is just how I do it. I'm quite comfortable with it because I've been doing it a long time. So now this is where we need to be super careful, because we're now adding the dark and we're coming quite close to that yellow. Apologies for my squeaky chair. So annoying every time I move. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill in a little bit more of this blue around here to start with. do need to be on our toes here a little bit, because if we get this bit wrong, then covering it is going to be a bit of a problem. That's another breath hold moment when you're bringing that line up. See, just in there, just on the front one there, and we can come around the back, do exactly the same thing, just fill in the main area first. And then again, as we did with the yellow on the front, what I want to do is just make sure that we're even over the top of the shoulder. So I'm going to bring that line round. So hopefully from there, you can see what I'm talking about. Now we've got a nice clean line going over the top, and then all I've got to do is try and reach that really with the blue from this side. Now these guys are going in a frame, so it's not massively important. It's perfect back here because you're never going to see it. But for this tutorial, as I said, I'm trying to do everything like best practice way of doing it, so that if you guys are painting stuff to play with, the backs of the shirts are really, really important. Whereas for my work, mainly it's all about the front of the shirts, because the players are not designed to come out of the frames. They're not really designed to be used. But yeah, so there's one side done, and that's how we bring it up there. And then we do exactly the same on the other side. Just fill in a little bit of space here. Flipping back round. Coming round under his arms. Again, this is where you can start getting the breath holding starts, when you get to a bit where you really got to concentrate. And then just fill that space in. And always, if you can, especially when using the dark colour over a light one, take less to start with, and if you feel like you need to take a little bit more of the shirt, then take a little bit more of the shirt. Sort of okay with that at the moment. Let's have a look when we bring the back round, how we feel about it. Just fill in those spaces. Yeah, I'm mostly okay with it, how it's turned out so far. I just feel like maybe over here. Take a little bit more of the yellow, because I just feel like it's overpainted slightly. Not by a lot. Tiny amount, if anything. So yeah, all I did there on the right hand side was just take a little bit more of the shirt, and actually maybe on the left as well, because it just seems, or just feels like when I look at it, that there's a little bit too much yellow over onto that side. There we go. So that's how we're going to do the sleeves on this guy. So that's how you would do the sleeves. So doing a shirt that's just base color and different color sleeves. So let's come on now to the winged collar. Now, with this one, it's only the wings and the back of the collar that's blue. It's not the full V. So it's actually got like a little opening down here. So what I'm going to do is I need to create my shape first. As with everything, it's all about framing what you're working with. Now, so again, I apologize, so I'm not going to talk. I'll explain what I've done after. So, as I've explained before, with most things we do when we're creating stuff like this, is we'll create our frame first, and the first bit to bring down is always where the front of the collar will be. So bringing our line down here and then sweeping it back up, and then did exactly the same on the other side. So my blue paint is really thick today. Might need thinning out, but we're going to go with it anyway. Apologies for the twice my phone has vibrated. Usually it doesn't vibrate when I'm filming, but it has today. And then just on the back, just need to bring it round and join the two front sections together. Let's have a look where we're at here. Tiny bit of blue that comes just into here. And that's that. So that is how you do a winged collar. So in this little video then, guys, we have looked at doing a, make sure we're in shot and you can see what we're saying. So with this guy,
We've done the hoop socks, and again, like I said, this one actually had a blue one at the bottom, but when we did the top blue and we even split the rest of the socks, there wasn't enough space to have the blue, so that bottom one's going to be yellow. It doesn't matter, the chances are it may well have been yellow depending on how pulled up you had the sock, etc, etc. The shorts in this one are going to be black. We'll go over that in a minute. We've got the sleeve work here. Originally we did it as if they were going to be plain, so I was being really tidy, but if you're doing dark ones like we've got here, this yellow bit initially doesn't have to be as clean and tidy. Then we came around, we filled in our blue, and we wore it up, and we come round to fill in these gaps here, and then finally we went into our collar area just in there. So what we're going to do now is just finish this kit off with the black shorts. Black shorts then, by their nature, black covers everything and it's very difficult to cover up. So accuracy here is pretty key. If we'd have overpainted the yellow, it would have been a great opportunity. Black is amazing at covering that up. So if we'd have overpainted the shirt yellow down, then we'd have been able to bring that back with the use of the black. But obviously we didn't, so what we don't want to do is take away that yellow. So it's really important that we're quite clean and accurate across the top of the shorts. And the same along the bottom. We don't want to come down off of the molded short line into the skin area. Once you've got your frame, you can be a little bit quicker. But again, it's really important that you guys don't get careless, because a mistake with the black would be an absolute disaster, because you cannot cover it up. Even with Citadel acrylic, you would struggle. Front of the shorts there, making this kit, just finishing it off, just completing it. It's one of them kit, you know, when you get to these stages where you've got a kit in your head, or you've got a kit that you've got to do, and you get to the stage where you're going to complete it and you're adding them final little touches of that final colour. It really takes it from being like a half finished kit into being something special. The best stage, although it's quite boring to do, but the best stage without a doubt is adding them hair and boots on at the end, because that's when you've completed it, you've finished it, you've created your player, you've finished him, he's done. Those final little additions just complete it. Like, sometimes they are the best bit, because it brings the whole thing to life, ties everything you've done so far together. So just coming into the final stages of the shorts then, and then this guy is all done except for his hair and boots, obviously. So there we go. He has now got his black shorts on. He's a Leeds figure. Again, apologies for the chair and the ting-a-ling-a-ling on the jar. Ting-a-ling. But yeah, so that's the basics, guys. So hopefully that's been useful for you. A lot of different things in there. Let's talk about the hoop socks, the sleeves, and the winged collar. So there's quite a few bits in there that we've shown you. Hopefully it's going to help some of you guys out. Yeah, thank you very much.
There we go then, that is the tutorial. As I said, it was quite a long one today. Covered quite a lot of different things in there. Hopefully it's been useful for you guys. Like I say, it just sort of came out blue. I was painting a kit like it anyway, and I was filming it for another series, so I thought, you know what, let's do it as a tutorial. It's got a lot of things in there that we can do a tutorial on, so that's what we did. Yeah, so thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Please leave a like on the video. any comments, any questions in the comments below, or you can email us as always on westwood.ts@gmail.com. Thank you once again to Sampledelic Sounds for the music that goes in these videos, at Papaco29 on Twitter. Please go check them out. Massive appreciation to them for creating the music for me. Apart from that, guys, thank you very much for watching.